A lot of people don't know it, but the relationship between hip hop and kung fu actually dates all the way back to the 70s. Let's talk about it. Everything starts with Enter the Dragon in 1973. This movie starred Bruce Lee, of course, who we know is a martial arts icon. But to the right of him, you'll also see another black martial arts icon named Jim Kelly. Now, if you don't know about Jim Kelly helped bridge that gap on screen between martial arts, black culture, kung fu, etc. during the black exploitation era. He starred in films like Black Belt Jones, and it's a really dope film if you've never seen it. But going from there, we have to go into the 80s. We talk about Barry Gordy. Now, for those who don't know, Barry Gordy produced a martial arts film called The Last Dragon starring Ty Mack and Vanity, both really popular at the time. And Ty Mack's character, of course, was named Bruce Leroy. Show enough, it was a whole thing. Now, going into the 90s, that of course brings us to the icons of icons, Wu-Tang Clan. Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers was inspired by some 70s kung fu films, specifically Enter the 36 Chambers of Shaolin, which I think is available on Amazon for streaming for free if you got Prime. Moving from there, when we go to the 2000s, we have to talk about the Get Down. Now, the Get Down came out in the mid 2010s, but it's technically based in the 70s at the inception of hip hop. And we have characters like Shaolin Fantastic, who of course is heavily influenced by Kung Fu, as you can tell by the name. And I think Grandmaster Flash is in there as well, and he's heavily influenced. You feel those Shaolin vibes as you see them interact with each other, right? Moving from there, we have to talk about Romeo Must. Not going to say it because of the app, but we have to talk about this movie featuring Aaliyah, DMX, RIP, and Jet Li. Even when you look at the cover, you can see Jet Li on the cover. He's standing in a martial arts pose, Aaliyah in the background. And then you see graffiti on the cover, which of course we know is a tenet of hip hop culture. Now, bringing it into the mid 2000s, of course, we have to talk about the Boondocks. Now, if you look at some of the characters on the Boondocks, like Bushido Brown, you'll notice that he actually is very reminiscent of Jim Kelly. So there's some inspiration happening there. But also, you notice that Huey does a lot of kung fu. And then finally, bringing it up to about as recent as we can probably bring it right now, you have Kung Fu Kenny. So if you're a fan of Rush Hour 2, of course, Don Cheadle played a character named Kung Fu Kenny who had a Chinese restaurant on Crenshaw, right? But with that said, we also know another Kung Fu Kenny in culture, and of course, that is Kendrick Lamar. So, a fun fact about this is in 2017, when Kendrick released Damn, he did a video for DNA, and in the video, he features Don Cheadle. So you have Kung Fu Kenny talking to Kung Fu Kenny, and that relationship that started all the way back 50 years ago still continues into 2017.